r/AskReddit NSFW. What did you find out about your friend's sex life that actually shocked you? My friend was US Army /Special Forces /Green Beret and would go on regular shadow dates. He would find people online, mostly on Craigslist, this was in the 2012, and set up random anonymous sex liaisons with people he had never met, spoken with or had even seen. He would show up to an unlocked apartment or house in the dark without ever seeing or speaking and bail. One day we were playing Xbox. He got an email. Said don't unpause it. I gotta go fuck real quick. He left. Did the deed and brought a 6-pack back all within an hour. Sat down and kept playing. This happened a few different times and I think about it often. Always bragged about how much sex he had. Would never shut the hell up about it. One of those guys. Super annoying. Plus this dude was not smooth with girls in any way whatsoever. Would always just nod and play along. Always thought he was full of shit. Then I found out he raped every single one of them. That took a turn. My best friend in high school came out of the closet to me. That wasn't really that shocking. What was shocking was finding out the jokes he made about my other best friend blowing him weren't actually jokes. So you're like the third wheel? Apparently. That they didn't have a sex life. We are all in our late 20s, and they got married last year. Around 2 months after the wedding I was joking about the lingerie set I bought her on her bachelorette trip, and asked if she had worn it after the honeymoon. She looked at me straight and said no. I thought we were having a light-hearted conversation. Friends for 9 years, like we have always had, and was taken by surprise. She followed up with, I'm married now, so I closed shop. He can have sex when I try for a baby. But once I have a kid it's over. They just had their first child this month. It's going to be a long 50 years for her husband. Once I have a kid it's over. That marriage? Yikes. I mean I guess it's over as of this past week. They've been married a year and a month. Guess she got what she wanted. A roommate that pays her bills. I hope the man bails out. There's ways to do a sexless marriage. But that ain't it, chief. One of my best friends, who I thought was asexual since any talk of sex caused her to get grossed out, ended up becoming my twin brother's GF. Turns out she had just not met any guys that she felt comfortable with, and since we've been friends a couple of years she decided he'd be a good first. Then one night she drunkenly told me about how much sex they were having. And that was kinda weird for all parties, since my brother was also there. But hey, I'm happy they're both getting laid. My best friend uses blowjobs as bribery to an insane degree. I mean, I'm not above a little BJ bribery myself. But she uses it on her husband like several times a day. Wants coffee, but doesn't want to make it. BJ. Doesn't want to clean the dishes. BJ. It's her turn to walk the dogs. BJ. It's kind of hilarious. She's super lazy, but prefers giving him head to doing most chores and apparently it works for him too. She also doesn't want sex as often as he does. So she finds this keeps him happy and she doesn't feel the need to put out as much, all of which I find hilarious. Yeah, I wait on her hand and food. But do you get 5 blowjobs a day? You can't really be criticized for anything when you're the only guy at the table getting 5 blowjobs a day, much less for being whipped. That a friend has been married for 15 years and they've never actually had sex. Not one time. They've tried but not been successful. From the info I've gotten, I think he's not hard enough. He won't see a doctor. They're both virgins. It's also sad. Does he eat a raw potato when he's in the mood perchance? I got this reference. My brother posted the article on FB and all I could picture was this guy standing in the kitchen in his bathrobe in the middle of the night, crunching a raw potato by the light of the fridge. in spite of his wife being comfortable with having an open relationship. He proceeded to cheat on her multiple times before we all found out. Edit, should clarify he refused to have an open relationship. People who cheat on their SOs are often very jealous and paranoid of their SO cheating on them. It's pretty hypocritical obviously, but some people are just shitty. When at an ANIN convention with a friend and his GF, I found out his GF shits when she orgasms. They have been together since HS, and every once in a while there would be an angry announcement to please not shit on the floor in the bathrooms. The pieces began to come together. She must have some crazy muscle spasms to do that. Jeez. I've heard of peeing, but pooping is a whole nother level. I feel like eventually, you'd learn to prepare for that. Like an enema. Pooping before sex. Seeing a drive. Like I've had organisms that have made me seize GF up but never bear down so hard I've shit myself. But then again, different women, different muscle reactions. In high school, a classmate of mine was bragging one day about losing his virginity to a lady in our community who happened to be the mother to a girl a grade above us. We all called bullshit and asked why he'd make something like that up, cause not only is it not believable, it just wasn't even a funny lie. Fast forward 6 months and fellow classmate has to leave class on multiple occasions to go to court. Older lady was bragging to a co-worker about sleeping with said classmate, and now older lady is a sex offender. He was into swords and getting cut and stuff. It all started on the day of his circumcision. The first cut is the deepest. One friend was all into gangbangs and orgies. Never took her as the type. Where the hell are all these gangbangs and orgies happening? Is there a subreddit IDK about? My sister-in-law told me what she apparently calls my brother and their private time. Big Daddy Roo. Is your brother Scooby-Doo? Rah. She used to shit in her ex-husband. Kinda took me by surprise. In. Or on. Sorry. All good, I was just sickened, but curious if it was in lol. The old Alabama Hot Pocket. I used to frequent Craigslist back before they banged anything even resembling a dating or hookup ad. I once placed an ad and got a response from a guy on my team at work asking if I wanted his wife. As in bluntly asking, hey buddy, you wanna fuck my wife? Your email address is stripped off when using their built-in email system, but the name on your email account comes through. The response was in this guy's name, which is unique, and he included a picture of his wife who I have met. The pic didn't show her face, but she has some visible tattoos, so there is zero doubt it was her. So how was she? I never responded to the email or have mentioned it to anyone, though I did think it would have been funny. You actually get a surprising number of cuckold responses to ads, which isn't my thing, and the guy usually wants to watch. Was she hot? One of my former best friends and his fiancée had been together for nearly 5 years and due to be married in a few months when this happened. They were very open about their sex life, saying it was awesome and that they had their fun nearly every night. A few months before the wedding, she confided in me that they had actually never had sex before because he was scared. Apparently he had her act like they were having daily sex to make it seem like everything was normal. First couple years they tried and didn't get anywhere with sex. After that he just lost interest in her. Apparently the mental abuse in the relationship was pretty high too, which she completely hid from everyone to save his ass. This story is why this best friend is now a former best friend. Did she go through with getting married? Married Without Sex new series out now on TLC. A couple that I was friends with was into necrophilia play. He would make his wife take an ice cold shower, quickly dry off, and then she'd just lay there while he fucked her cold unmoving body. And they really liked it. With these kind of stories I always wonder how into it the partner really is, or if they just decided they love the other person enough to go with it and are now pretending to enjoy the same thing. I mean, it can't have come up during dating, can it? Friend of mine didn't do foreplay at all and just threw it in there. Started having issues because his girlfriend didn't enjoy it and said it was painful, but he was baffled as to why. Poor girl. That they eat ass despite being a germaphobe. Ding. I have a gal pal who is mega OCD, hyper clean and otherworldly germophobic, and she is way into some balloon knot bingo. In the battle of kink v bacteria, kink is a victor. Always. WTF is balloon knot bingo? Oh, it's just when you kinda bounce from butthole to butthole because they look kinda like balloon knots. Who TF comes up with these terms? Lumpheo. My best friend married his high school sweetheart. I knew they were both virgins when they got married. What I did not know, and only found out when they eventually got divorced, was that they only had sex about 20 times during their 10-year marriage. The wife evidently got zero enjoyment from sex and only did it when she wanted to get pregnant. They had 3 kids, and all happened relatively easily / quickly. He was not allowed by her to masturbate or look at porn, although he did behind her back. This had nothing to do with religion or anything like that. Just how she personally viewed sex. My friend, who didn't really know any better, just assumed that's what marriage was supposed to be like. He's now remarried to an incredible woman who evidently loves sex and has been more than willing to make up for all the time my friend was in an essentially sexless relationship. I've never seen him so happy. That she had elaborate pirate roleplay sex. We were housemates in college, and I heard way more than I beer gained for. Also, the guy she had elaborate pirate roleplay sex with smelled bad and wore those shoes with the separate toes. App. A friend of mine thinks of me while having sex so they can keep going for much longer. How does that make you feel? Weird? Flattered? Indifferent? Mostly weird. I mean, we are both straight men. Go figure. He does that so he can delay orgasm, or he does that to maintain erection. It's hilarious either way, haha. The former. If it were the latter, it'd still be weird but somewhat flattering. Not gonna lie. I knew this guy. Lived with a friend of mine. Then one day I saw him on the local news's version of To Catch a Predator. I think he got sometime and might have been deported after that. That was quite a surprise. My wife had a female friend in high school that saved all the used condoms in a brown paper bag under her bed. And from what I heard, there were a lot of them. Can't that shit mold or go rotten? Oh. You've reached the end. You're a star. Destroy the subscribe button for more like that.